All right, guys, this is Danny McDaniel, joined by my wife, Diane McDaniel, right here in Coppell, Texas, and we welcome each and every one of you distributors from around the world of AdvoCare on tonight's new distributor training call. And we are excited that you guys jumped on this call tonight because we've got some great stuff to share with you. You know, this business, you know, we've been around here for 13 years, and of course, AdvoCare has been around for 17 years to date, and, you know, this business has always been about fundamentals. You know, the fundamentals of AdvoCare have never changed. And Don and I mean, we've never seen anything change. I'll never forget the first training that Don and I walked into in Dallas with Charlie Regis, and it was a leadership type training. It was our first exposure to him from a training standpoint, and he talked about, he held up a football, and he said, guys, it's just like when Vince Lombardi took over the Green Bay Packers. He said, this is a football, and today is about fundamentals. And the rest of the whole training, he taught on three basic principles: use the products, talk to people, and wear your colors. And, you know, that's what we're going to talk to you guys tonight about, because we know what happens with a brand new person many times. It's easy for a brand new person to get lost in the shuffle. You get signed up, someone's excited, they're excited. You got signed up, and they see through your own devices, or you get busy. There's situations, there's circumstances. I mean, there's all kinds of variables out there. And you wind up frustrated because things aren't going your way. So here's the thing. Let's pretend right now at this very moment that you just got involved, or you just said yes. You know, what do I do next? I want to join AdvoCare. You know, well, the first thing that Diane and I are going to tell you to do is we're going to tell you, you know what, we've got to get you on the right products. And that may shock some of you out there in the world of AdvoCare, but that's just how we do it. We've got to get you on the right products, you know, because this is a product-driven company, and your story means everything. And so our philosophy is use the products that you can afford. In fact, use only what you can afford. And we're going to get you on the products that will help you develop a fast story. And you know, as your income grows, your product regimen is going to grow. But in the beginning, you know, our job as new distributors, or our job as leaders, is to make sure new distributors are only taking what they can afford and able to help them get a fast story. And so we're going to not only get you on the right products, but we're going to also teach you how to package a 30-second story. You know, but let us tell you this about the products. You know, the long-term money in this company as you build a business, because you're on this call tonight to find out how to build a business. You know, the long-term money is going to be in two major products: Metabolic Nutrition System, Max E and Max C. You know, yes, there's a Max 3, and we don't have time to train on all that tonight. But if you want to build a long-term business that's going to pay you for the rest of your life, Metabolic Nutrition, Max E is number 1, and Max C is number 2. And then the other product is Spark. Those two products will flat out get it done. We call these money makers. And when we first introduce people to product these days, of course, you know, we really tend to lean toward the 24-day challenge, because the 24-day challenge is a program, and people love programs. And most of the adult population has some pounds to lose, or has some body fat percentage to lose, or something like that. And so the vast majority of your customers are you're going to introduce them that way. Just like yesterday, I met with an internal surgeon at the Corner Bakery in Highland Village, Texas yesterday, and I sat down with him, and I got out my 24-day challenge sheets, because he said, hey, Danny, just tell me what I need to get on. I'm really going to want to start working out. I want a recovery drink and this, that, and the other. And you would think I would have said post-workout recovery, because he said, I want a recovery drink. I didn't do that. I know where I'm going to get him locked in. I'm going to get him locked in on the money makers with AdvoCare. So I took this internal surgeon, who's a class guy, and I said, and I pulled out those sheets, and I just started pointing at the 24-day challenge, saying, you know what, here's what I want to do with you, Doc. And the reason why is because of this. In the first 10 days, you know, have you ever detoxed? You know, he's a gastrointestinal surgeon, and he's never detoxed. And I go, so we have an herbal cleanse. Here's what it is. This is how I want to start you, and here's what that's going to do for you. And it's going to be accompanied by a product called Spark. You know, our brain food product, you already had a sample of that from a couple of months ago. And then our meal replacement shakes. And here's why I want to get you on those. You know, do you skip meals? He goes, sometimes I do. I go, do you drink shakes? He goes, yes, I'll drink a shake if I need it. I go, exactly. So that's what we're going to do. And then the next 14 days is going to become the wow effect for you. You know, because our number one product, Metabolic Nutrition System here, this is the life changer. And this is the high octane fuel that when it goes into your engine, you're going to feel like you have 110 octane like NASCAR, and you've never put fuel in your body like that before, and it is going to change your life. So get ready. If you hang with me the first 10 days of this 24-day challenge, on day 11, you're going to be loving me. And you know what? He didn't say, well, what's in it, and give me all this scientific evidence and all that kind of stuff. The simple sheets, him looking at the sheets with me as I pointed at those various things, he said, that sounds great. I like it simple. That looks simple. I don't want to get overwhelmed with a bunch of stuff. And so, I didn't overwhelm him with 2 or 3 other products on top of that. I stuck to the Herbal Cleanse, the Spark, and the Meal Replacement Shakes as phase 1 of the 24-day challenge. And then on the next phase, the 14 days, I stuck with Metabolic Nutrition Max E, Spark, and Meal Replacement Shakes. I didn't include Catalyst. I didn't include Omegaplex. I didn't include Thermal Plus. Sometimes, and that's all good if someone's ready for that. But you, as a new distributor, as you retail products in the marketplace, you've got to gauge each and every person individually on what's going to fit their needs, whether you're going to overwhelm them or not. And he didn't want to be overwhelmed. So don't try to upsell and oversell someone that doesn't want to be overwhelmed. I may have him for life because actually, what he did with me, he said, Danny, if I get the results that you're talking about, which I feel like I'm going to because I've read the magazine, I've looked on the website, and I've researched the company. This looks great. He goes, I want to get my wife signed up and let her be a rep with you guys and make some money. And so I just smiled and moved on. I didn't sit there and start pounding him about the business. I didn't say, well, we need to get you signed up right now so you can start talking. People do that. And for a new distributor, I want you to know, don't do that. Take people for where they are right then at that moment and win with them, especially when you get the sale. For example, my retail sale to him was $200.25. And that's a retail sale, and I'm going to follow up. And the rest is going to take care of itself. And, in fact, Diane wants to chime in and interrupt. She's welcome to, but here's how easy we sell the 24-day challenge. I told this doctor, I said, Doc, the greatest thing about me getting on these products right now is the average American spends between $8 and $12 a day, on the average working American when they walk out the store. They just spend $8 to $12 a day on stuff. And he started laughing. He goes, I know. And I go, well, your average cost here for the 24-day challenge is going to be $8.34. So I'm basically, it's just a swap. Or you may be even saving money by getting on the 24-day challenge. So this is going to be, a very easy exchange process for you, and you're going to get your life changed in the midst of that.
Hey, one thing that I want to add, Danny, is, especially because we are talking to the new guys, I want to make sure that all y'all understand that when we talk about metabolic nutrition or we talk about the 24-day challenge, we love to get people started on that because people they're going to sell what you use. And so it's so important that we make sure that you get the results that you're looking for. And I don't know what.
We have a really bad echo. It's 2 phones too close together.
Okay. Well, then go ahead, because.
Okay, guys. Well, sorry for the echo. We're going to split rooms here so that we don't have an echo, but we're going to move on. And.
Well, no. Okay, here I'm back because I don't want people to miss this point. Is you're going to sell what you use. So keep in mind whatever you're on is what you're going to be excited about sharing, because we don't sell anything here. We share something that we're excited about, and the only way that you're excited about anything is that you're actually on the products and you're sharing your experience. Another thing I want you guys to understand is we don't sell diet pills. This is not a diet company. We sell nutritional products. We help people get healthy. So the products that we help people lose weight on are the same products that somebody would continue to be on to feel great, maintain, be healthy, and stay healthy. So that's real key for you guys to understand when we're out there talking about weight loss, because so many people assume that when you talk about Max C or Max E or the metabolic nutrition system that we're talking about diet pills, and that is not the case at all. The same products that I started with 13 years ago, Metabolic Nutrition System E, which is called Max E, that's the product that I started on. Went from a size 10-12 down to a 4-6, only lost 4 pounds, but at the same time, it's the same product I'm on today, just continuing to be healthy, stay healthy, feel great, and absolutely love the entire product line. So keep that in mind as you're sharing. And as Danny said, so many times people see AdvoCare products as something they've got to budget in. You've got to understand that and be able to share that AdvoCare products are not something you budget in. You find yourself truly saving money because of the way that you change your eating habits and the way that you start gravitating towards healthier things. And the all-you-can-eat buffets, or the snacks and the big gulps and the chips that you grab, those things go away, and you find yourself literally gravitating to fruit or water, and it's such a great experience. But you've got to be able to share that, and real key that you understand that we're not selling diet pills.
And guys, if nothing else, here's the thing: you've got to get someone started on metabolic nutrition system and Spark. There's sometimes there's people out there in the world of AdvoCare that have been in for a while that are heavy promoters of. We got a lot of personal trainers, and we get people in the realm of just getting on post-workout recovery and rehydrate, or post-workout recovery and muscle fuel and Coreplex, and they got all these little systems they want to devise, and that's not what's best for the total marketplace. 91% of all Americans never step foot in a gym. This is not a fitness problem. We got a health problem out there. People need to lose weight, have more energy, and cut some fat, and feed their muscle tissue. We can worry about all that other stuff later. If I owned a gym today and you walked in my gym, 95% of you that walk in my gym are going to get on the 24-day challenge, and if nothing else, Metabolic Nutrition System and Spark. Since Metabolic Nutrition System is not necessarily a weight loss product, you don't have to. You can have 8% body fat and still be on Metabolic Nutrition System and have high octane fuel in your body that's going to feed you for the rest of your life, which is what you need. So here's the thing. Here's the price on that. For a month supply of Metabolic Nutrition and Spark, the average daily cost is $4.70 for a retail customer. For a wholesale customer, it's $3.77 a day. For an advisor, it's $2.82 a day. Who in America can't get on Metabolic Nutrition and Spark at the rate of $4.70 a day when one Monster costs something like probably $3 or $3.50, or a Starbucks $4.50, and you're talking about total nutrition for $4.70. So the bottom line here is, as a new distributor, you want to learn how to talk about benefits instead of cost. Don't focus on the cost. You focus on talking to people about changing their life and creating an exchange system for them that's going to help them. And so it carries you into we want to help you as a new distributor develop a 30-second story. Because as you get on the products, your story will change each and every day, but it even starts on the very first day. So what does a 30-second story comprise of? Well, first of all, you got to cut out all the fat. It can't be a big fluffy story. People don't want to hear your a 2-hour story on how you got on products and what your results are. They want to hear the meat and potatoes. And so it's about your story plus a couple of others. So your 30-second story is how much, how long, and added benefits. How much, it means how much weight have you lost, or how many inches have you lost, how long have you been on the products, and what are the added benefits. For example, I was able to tell people on day one, I've got more energy than I've had since I was a teenager, and I quit drinking 5 to 6 Dr. Peppers today. Well, the second day I was in AdvoCare, I was able to say, yesterday I got on these products, and I've got more energy than I've ever had since I was a teenager, and I quit a 5 to 6 Dr. Pepper a day habit yesterday because Dr. Peppers taste horrible, and I'm like craving water, and I quit eating all these fatty foods. I didn't eat ice cream or popcorn last night, and this stuff's changing my life. You got to get on this stuff. And by day 5, here's the thing: I was able to tell people, you know what? I got on these products 5 days ago, and I had more energy than I ever had. I quit drinking 5 to 6 Dr. Peppers a day. I've lost 3 inches in my waist the first 5 days I've been on these products, and you've got to try this stuff. And in fact, see this lady right here in the magazine? She's lost 65 pounds. She's been on these products 8 months. They've changed her life, and she's even making $4,500 a month right now in this business. I just got my wife on these products, and she's already lost a full dress size in the last 5 days. And you got to try this. So that's how you package your 30-second story right there. Diane?
That's exactly perfect.
So we move on?
I don't think there's any more to say. It was great.
Okay. Well, going from packaging a 30-second story, the second thing that we really do as a new distributor is we establish goals. That is a big problem out there amongst new distributors in the world of AdvoCare, and it's not the new distributor's fault. It's the leader's fault. It's the person signing them up. We sign people up, and we don't even know what they want, and we just kind of say, go get them, Tiger. Well, there's a goal sheet. You can make your own goal sheet, but you can go to advocaretraining.com, go to the printable section, print out a goal sheet. Anyone that we sign up, that's the first thing we stick in their hand. And we put it right in front of them and say, we need to know what your purpose is. And what are you willing to sacrifice to make this business work? Will you follow a system here? Will you commit to 2 years to build this business? This is all on the goal sheet. How much do you want to earn the first 30 days? See, because there's a difference how we're going to talk to someone if they say, I want to earn $400 in the first 30 days versus I want to win a rookie bonus in the first 30 days. Totally different way you approach working with someone there. And then how much do you expect to be earning in 12 months? Well, if you're new tonight and you've never filled out a goal sheet, go to the printable section on AdvocateTraining.com, get a goal sheet, print it out, fill it out, and get it to your sponsor, get it to your sponsor or whoever's mentoring you. The people that are dedicated to helping you, get it in their hands so that they know what you want so that you can develop a plan of action. Anything on that, Di?
Well, the key to that is knowing that, as a sponsor, it's our job to help you. I mean, nobody's going to be your boss. Nobody's going to command or demand anything out of you. But it is so important that, A, we know what you want, or B, that you know what you want. Because so many times, people get attracted to AdvoCare, but when they don't really really unpack or really get to the root of what they want to accomplish as a result of AdvoCare, it's hard for their daily routine to change. It's hard for them to be reminded why they're going to do something different each and every day, or what drives their passion or fuels their excitement to go talk to the next person. So, that's real important. And I'll say another thing about your purpose and reason, because sometimes people say, I want to stay home with my kids, or I'm looking to get out of debt. And they're a little bit vague with their purpose and reason, because I like to get to the reality of what's it going to cost. Because that really breaks it down to make it really simple on what we're truly looking for monthly and per pay period. Because we've got to know how we really are rating to help you win. And so make sure that that's another thing that you pay attention to. Like I was with a couple last night, and they were looking at the possibility of trying to stay home with their kid that she's pregnant with. Well, it comes down to how much is she making and how much is daycare going to cost, because that's one of the things that would factor in. So if she's bringing home $4,000 a month, but daycare is going to cost $1,000 a month, then we know that in reality we need to cover about $3,000 a month to be able to keep her home. And so those are just some numbers and some ways that you can work with them as you discover your purpose and reason when you're writing it down and you're sharing it with the people that you know. But really put some thought into that and understand, as you know the stories of AdvoCare, the sky's the limit. When we heard the stories of AdvoCare and we realized the possibilities here, Danny was not scared to dream big. And I understand that all of us come into AdvoCare with different hopes and different desires, but I don't want you to be scared if you have a passion for something big, because he wasn't scared to speak it. And he looked everybody in the eye because of the results and the success that other people that were teaching, training, and mentoring us were getting, that he believed we were on track to make $25,000 a month at the end of our first year. And he told everybody we were in front of, hey, according to what's going on in AdvoCare and according to the success of what's happened for others, we're going to be making $25,000 a month at the end of our first year. And he told it to everybody. Now, did everybody believe him, or did everybody swallow that? Not necessarily. But at the same time, he believed it. And it goes back to, you do have to speak your vision. You have to share it with the people that you're excited about bringing in on your team, because people want to know where you're going. But until you understand where you want to go, then it's hard to share it. So I'll hand it back to you, Dan.
And guys, the third thing that we do is we get with someone while they're there. It's in the heat of the moment. They're excited. They want to do AdvoCare. So the third thing is we want to say, hey, we've got to get you to advisor. And then we begin to unwrap. See, after we know what their purpose is, then we say, hey, now let's get you to advisor. Every once in a while that's flip-flopped, and that's okay. But if you flip-flop that, make sure after you've signed them up and you've put an advisor order on the computer that you get out a goal sheet and help them get their goals mapped out. Because don't just leave them and say, hey, see you later, glad you did that, and they leave and drive out the driveway and you're high-fiving because you just got an advisor that came in the business and left them to their own devices, and then 5 days later their whole fire and passion is burnt out because they're scared because they don't really know anything. But so that third step is get someone to advisor. I'm not going to take you through that whole process tonight because I firmly believe that each and every one of you have the ability and the power to go on to advocatetraining.com and watch how to become an advisor and learn from that dry erase board training. You can even use that with your prospects, with people that say, I want to be an I want to do this business. How do I do it? And if you think you're not good at explaining an advisor, you can put them on that little video and they can watch it. And not only that, with our presentation book that you should download off of advocatetraining.com, we firmly believe that's a tool that every new distributor needs immediately. You download it, you print it out at Kinko's or print it out off your own computer, create your notebook, which is your presentation book. In the back of that is a series of slides on how to get to advisor. And not only that, the getting to advisor slides or the presentation book itself, those slides are also on the website workwithchampions.com. That's mine and Diane's recruiting site that we made. It's not ours. We made it available to every distributor in the company. It's just a generic recruiting site that's got most of the DVDs from the Advocare, the clips from the DVD on there. It's got clips from hotel meetings of people telling their 2-minute story, and it's got all kinds of great stuff that you can use in the recruiting process. But this happened to me yesterday. A buddy of mine and this is a great story to tell you how this business really works, because Diane and I wanted to talk to you about commitment tonight, and this business happens in so many different ways. But a couple of months ago, signing up for youth football again, I took TJ to Dick's Sporting Goods and saw one of his ex-coaches that coached him for 2 years in Pee Wee football, and he looked transformed. And I said, hey, Randy, what is going on? You look fantastic. And we've never been great friends. I mean, we've been acquaintances and have always been very cordial to each other because he's a great guy, a very nice guy. But we've never had more than a 5-minute conversation in the 2 years that I've known him coaching my son. But I just reached out and said, you look incredible, man. What in the world are you doing? And he started telling me, I think it was P90X, and how he's gotten committed to just getting shredded. And he looked great. And from that, there was he started asking me about kettlebells and started asking me about getting the right nutrition in his body. And that led to, over the last couple of months, he said he wanted to know more and he might get signed up. And nothing really ever happened from that. And he texted me yesterday and said, I'm signing up under you right now. I'm ordering product. And I called him back and said, hey, man, make sure and call me if you have any questions. And he texted me back and said, I do have a question. Can you give me a call? And I called him. You know what he asked me? He goes, man, how can you make money with this thing? He said, this is incredible. I know a ton of people that I could get on these products and get in this business. And you know what I did? The point of this is I took him, all that started with encouragement. I didn't even have any motive to recruit him when I told him how great he looked and all that kind of stuff. But it's amazing when you compliment people and you love on people and encourage people, what comes back to you. And anyway, I took him, he was at his house, and I was sitting here at my house, and I said, hey, are you near a computer? He goes, I'm right in front of it. I go to workwithchampions.com. And I go, let me show you how it's done here. And I took him to slide 7 and showed him, I said, hey, I want to show you the 4 ways that people come in a relationship with us so you kind of understand how it all works there. And then he said, well, how do you get to that top discount level you're talking about? So we scrolled down to the bottom, and I took him through Advisor. And he said, this all sounds phenomenal. He goes, can we sit down and meet? And he goes, here's my schedule. And so the schedule is this. We have a meeting at 1 o'clock next Wednesday. And he wants to know how we get paid, how to make money, and how to get started and do this thing. So that's how you can use the Get to Advisor slides off workwithchampions.com. But the whole key is help whether someone buys in at the advisor level or whether they come in at the 25% discount level at $500 or whether they're going to work their way there. The whole goal is you got to look them in the eye and say, hey, no matter whether we get you to advisor in 5 minutes, 5 days, or 5 weeks, we've got to get you to advisor. So here's the deal. It leads you to the next step. And an advisor order is the no-brainer because you still got to get there anyway. We sold our way there in 10 days collecting checks from people. And, I mean, if you're going to sell your way there in 10 days, might as well buy it and get it over with and move on because you're at 40% after that for the remainder of your Advocare distributorship. But from the getting someone to advisor, whether they buy in or whether they have to work their way in, the next step is this. Who do you know? There's where it all starts. The rubber starts meeting the road now for a new distributor. Who do you know? and it starts with a mental list. Who are the top 3 or 4 people in your life? And Diane's great at this. So Diane, you come in real quick and tell these guys how you treat a brand new person, how you try to tie that in.
Well, great. And the key, the key to this is not to feel like you're giving somebody homework so they feel like they've got to go home and really think through this, because just like Danny said, it is about a mental list. It's who's on their heart, who's on their mind right now. And so that's who we want to start talking to, because that's who means the most to them. But I know also when somebody's thinking of somebody, there's a purpose and a reason behind it. So I always want them to not only write their name down, but also put on paper what the reason is. Why are you calling that person? Because when I have my new distributors connecting with their prospects or the people they love the most, I'm always telling them I want you to call with a purpose. Because if they're calling them because they know they want to stay home with their kids, then I want them to say that, hey, Susie, I'm calling you because I know that you want to stay home with your kids. I know that you've been looking for a way to do that. And that, AdvoCare may or may not be for you, but I tell you, I found something I'm excited about. I love what I see. I feel amazing on products, and you got to see this and decide for yourself. Or if it might just be that they are best friends. Hey, I'm calling you because you're my best friend. I'm building a team. I'm going to make some incredible money, and I want you on it. I want you to be a part of it. So understand that, everybody's got different scenarios on why somebody's on their heart, but get them to be specific on why they're calling, because people want to know, here's what it makes you do, or it makes your new guy do. It makes them be strong. And it brings in, it starts to wipe away the milly and milky ways that we start to share AdvoCare, because we want people to come across with excitement and strength. Remember, as a new guy, your number one job is to be excited. That is your number one job when you're talking to the people you know, because that's what they're going to respond to the most, is that they can see that you're passionate about something. They can see that you're fired up about something. And, as they start asking questions, remember, you've got different things that you can take them to, just like Danny was referring to workwithchampions.com or advocaretraining.com, or introducing them up, because those are also some of your famous words. Hey, I don't know a lot. I'm excited. I'm fired up. I love what I see, but I got to get you on the phone with the guy or the gal that's helping me. Here's what's happening for them. And so when they call with a purpose, and you're specific with, why you're calling them, they hate their job, they want to stay home with their kids, they're in debt, they're contemplating bankruptcy, they love nutrition, they love helping people, they're looking for a plan B, whatever it may be, then that's why somebody calls with a purpose. And I'm telling you, the response is so much bigger, because you're reminding them why they need what we have. Dan?
And guys, the first step in making contact is knowing that every situation is different. There's so many different factors that come into play when contacting the new person. It's local versus long distance. It's what kind of job demands do they have, and their scheduling of their job demands. What kind of family demands and the scheduling of those family demands do they have. But everything starts with a phone call, not an email, not a text, not a Facebook post. When you got a new distributor, you want them getting on the phone or getting eyeball to eyeball with their prospects. And so you're going to have to teach your new guys, and if you're new, you got to start reaching out. And you reach out in many different ways here in the world of AdvoCare. And, of course, we could train on the next – it would take 2 more hours to really train you on all the basics tonight. We can't do that, because we're already 30 minutes into this call. But just know that we want to give you some of the basics of how you reach out and touch people right off the bat. It's arming yourself with tools, for number one. You've got to arm yourself with the AdvoCare DVDs. You have to arm yourself with Impact magazines. Those are your seeds of business. If you put lips to those things, every one of those seeds that you sow have the potential to reap you a great harvest. But if you're chinchy with those, or if you don't believe you need a lot of magazines or DVDs, you won't reap a very big harvest, because people have to have those kind of things in their hands. One reason why the doctor that I was telling you about got on the 24-day challenge is because I sewed a sample of Spark into his life, I sewed a DVD into his life, and I sewed a magazine into his life. And he read the whole magazine. I don't know how much of the DVD he watched, but he read the magazine. It caused him to go to the website and start looking at more things about AdvoCare, and I'd put lips to that. And the next thing is, make sure, and I mentioned it a while ago, but make sure that you have a presentation book. That is part of your tools. And you've got to be able to learn how to show the plan. It's going to be a part of your training. and you're going to get taught that, not necessarily tonight, but you've got to know how to use that presentation book. And then, after arming yourself with tools, part of it is knowing the other tools, knowing the DVD, learning the stories, because you need to know what clips you're going to use. And you got to know the different everybody's got different websites. I mean, it's hard for us to do a call because in the sense that we're going to tell you about our websites because we make them generic for the whole world of AdvoCare. And there's other leaders of yours out there that have different websites that they use. So we'll never try to undermine what your leaders are doing with you. But we just want you to know that personally, Diane and I, we use our workwithchampions.com site, which is for everybody, and we use advocaretraining.com for everybody in AdvoCare to get trained with and to get tools from. So you want to, if you're new, you owe it to yourself to get on those sites and study those sites because that could be crucial in your business. And if I'm calling someone brand new long distance, for example, reaching out, and I get excited tonight, or if I got a new person tonight and I go, who do you know? And they go, well, they live in L.A. Well, we're going to give them a call and plant some seeds and tell them how excited we are. And then I'm going to say, are you in front of a computer? And they're going to say, yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. I go, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to www.workwithchampions.com. Tell me when you get there. They go, okay, I'm up. All right, I'll go, now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to scroll down, and do you see a guy down there at the bottom right? It says Michael O'Rourke, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Yes. Click on that. And I want you to watch that short clip of Michael O'Rourke, and you're going to set that up and say, here's why I want you to watch this, and so on and so forth. So, whoever it is, you got to know all the different clips, so you know when you call someone why you're going to put them on a couple of different clips. I'll give you an example. I had a 2-on-1 appointment. I guess it was day before yesterday. Kind of forgetting what day it is, but in this 2-on-1 appointment, I drove across 40 to 45 minutes from my house to go meet a guy, third level to me. I got a phone call the night before. It was Monday afternoon from one of our up and coming distributors on the east side of Dallas, and she said, here we have this frontline guy. Here's who he is. He's got a CrossFit gym owner. He's excited. Here's who he is. He says he really wants to look at the business. So she put me on a three-way phone call with him, and he's driving. He's on the road, so he can't get in front of a computer. And I go, here's the thing. And I said, Ryan, tell you what, when can we get together? What's your schedule like this week? And we narrowed it down to tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And you know what I did? I jumped in the cotton picking car and drove to see him at 2 o'clock on Monday. Why? Because it is art. Here's the thing I'm trying to teach you right now, new distributors and old. You have to be willing at any spur of the moment time, to sacrifice yourself and the things you want to do in life. You got to go meet somebody. And you know what? I just felt like I needed to go meet him, and I drove and met him. And you know what? I met a great guy, and he's what I would consider a stallion. And whether he becomes one in his business or not, I don't know. But he sure has all the potential to be an AdvoCare stallion. And so as I meet with him, he's shared that he's been on a few products before. He understands that AdvoCare is great products, but he wanted to know how to make money and how to incorporate it into his CrossFit gym. And so basically I took him through how we use our tools. I just said, here's what I'm going to show you today. And as I show you these things, I want you to know this is what you're going to do with people. So basically, I was not only showing him a presentation, but I was teaching him how we show a presentation and how easy it is for a new person to use this tool. And the first thing I did is I showed him the DVD. I said, see this DVD right here? This is our #1 tool. And here's why it's so powerful. And I go, for example, turn around and click on your computer to workwithchampions.com. And he graduated from Texas A&M, and he's also real muscular and cut up and fit. So that's why I had him scroll down to Michael O'Rourke, and before he clicked on it, I said, see, this guy graduated from Texas A&M just like you, and he's also a fitness guy, and I want you to see his story. And he clicked on it and went, wow. After he got done with it, he goes, that is awesome. And I go, see, that's how we use our tools. We find people that, relate to people like you or whoever your prospect may be, and we introduce them to AdvoCare that way. And then the next thing I want you to do is I want you to click on Dr. Robert Hackman. And he clicked on that. I want you to see how powerful our scientists are and why our products are so great and why our company has the endorser profile we have. And he clicked on that, and after that was over, he went, wow. And I go, that's how we use that tool. And then I just flipped through the magazine. I said, we'll use this the same way, but I'm not going to bore you with that right now because I already showed you how to use the DVD. And then I whipped out the presentation book. And then I took them, basically I went straight to the 4 ways that people come in a relationship with us. So let me show you how it's going to work when you incorporate these products with your clients. And then I showed him the 5 ways you'll get paid. And all I did was flip the pages and use my index finger. And after that was over, he goes, man, he goes, this is awesome. He goes, I want to do this. And I go, okay. So the next step is, we've got to see. I flip-flopped it. I go, we've got to get you to advisor. We've got to show you how this business works. And I did. And he said, advisor's not for me right now. Can't do that. Option 2, 500. Here's why. He said, yep, I can do that. Let's roll. And so that's where he came in at 25%. And so the next question is, who do you know? But the thing is, sometimes there's exceptions. Here's the whole point of that. Remember I said people have different circumstances? He had to get out the door and go train. He had a training session at his own gym that he owns, so he couldn't do it. And he's a fireman, and he's got to go back to the station. And I had to go because I had someone with me who was being a fly on the wall watching the presentation. So we leave, and now he's third level to me. I've got to hand it back over to my leaders, those young guys that we have, to follow up and start doing their due diligence with them and work with him. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to work with them, but still there's that process that we're going to get him in action and say from there on, who do you know? So that's kind of how, different types of appointments work here as we talk to people. Diane, anything?
Well, the only thing I want people to understand is as we reach out and talk to people, you've got to understand that some, and this is something Charlie taught us, our founder, he said some will, some won't, some do, some don't. Meaning that not everybody's going to jump on board, but we've learned the way you shut the skeptics up is you go out and get results, because one thing everybody will do is they'll watch you, because obviously, like we said, you're calling and reaching out to the people that you love the most and are the closest to you, so they're going to continue to watch what you do. So that's why it's so important. Get the results like we talked about, when you're getting on products. Make sure that you get on products or consistent on products and get the results, because they watch you. They will respond to you just getting incredible weight loss results. On top of that, keeping in mind that they're going to watch the money you make and your excitement levels and how positive you stay. And as you create your team, it's amazing how people will naturally gravitate. Now, you got to keep in mind, and this is one thing that I always like the new guy to understand. People come into relationship with Advocare in 4 different ways, 4 different ways. And as Danny said, it's in the presentation, but let me explain that to you real quick. The first way is just as a retail customer. So you might reach out to some of these guys and they say, hey, I need to get started on product, just like Danny talked about the doctor doing. He's a retail customer and that's the way he wants to start. We love that. The second way, they love the products, and we always set them up. I set every single person that I get started on products up to know that you're going to love the products and you're going to understand why. Next time we get you to reorder, we're going to get you signed up, because you're going to want to be able to save money, and I'm going to show you how you can become a distributor and save money. And because you love the products, you're going to find yourself sharing the products, and you can even make some money. The wholesale customer is the second way, and then the third way is somebody that wants to make a little bit of money. They love the products. They get to 40%. They share it with family and friends. And as a result of having some great retail sales, they make an extra $400 to $800, according to the effort they put behind it. But it's a great way to earn extra income just by retailing product. And then the fourth way is as a business builder. And that's somebody that the sky's the limit. They decide what they want, but that's through part-time effort to develop full-time incomes. Now, here's the deal. In whatever way somebody says yes to Advocare, it is an absolute win. And we love, love, love every single way that people come into Advocare. But here's the other facts. The people that don't, just continue. Don't be ugly. Don't stiff-arm them. That is okay. Love them where they're at, because I can promise you they will continue to watch you, and as you get the results you're looking for, and I'm just speaking to you from somebody that's been in Advocare for 13 years, and we've seen every scenario, people will eventually get on board. They can't stand it. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves. They want to be part of something that's exciting and life-changing. And as you get involved with Advocare and you start to show that to others, they will want to be a part naturally in whatever way. Again, all of them are good.
And guys, we want to get you off here in the next 5 minutes or so. So hang with us, and we'll close this thing out with some powerful points, to take home with you tonight before you hang up. We're firm believers that the people that hang on get the best stuff, at the very end. And like I said, there are so many concepts we could talk to you about tonight. I'm staring at things right now to talk to you about as far as setting up local appointments and how you get people in front of your sponsor immediately. And I'll give you a couple of bullet points, but it is packaging your story. And you can go to AdvocateTraining.com and watch the dry erase board training on how to package your story, so you can get that tonight. But then you tell stories of those that have come before you, people that are in your upline above you and the successes they've had. We're firm believers in stating the matter of fact that success breeds success, and here's who's come before me. And you're able to tell people, the person you called after you've established rapport, here's who's helping me, and they'll help you too. And then you got to tell them, hey, this is so powerful that you've got to see it with your own eyes. And I'm brand new and I'm just getting started, so I'm certainly not an expert. But I tell you what, I got someone that you got to meet, and you've got to see this with your own eyes. So can I have 30 minutes of your time? Is that fair? Does that sound fair to you? And we've always been firm believers that the question, is that fair enough, or does that sound fair to you, always puts it in their court where they'll answer yes or no. Most of the time you'll get a yes answer because you're not forcing it. You're saying, does that sound fair to you? And when they say that, so you give them two options. So what time is best for you? And what day? Is it this or this? And give them those two options. Does that sound fair to you? And when they do, that's when you go to the appointment and you take your sponsor with you. And what you do, basically, when you have your sponsor, the new distributor, you as a new distributor are going to put product in your friend's body or your family member's body, and it's Spark or Slam, and it could be Metabolic Nutrition System if you introduce them to that too. But the new distributor, you're going to introduce your mentor properly. I mean, you're not going to say 10,000 things about them and over dramatize it. It's not about that. But you're telling that person that you're meeting with, hey, here's why, this is why we're meeting today. You can't go into a meeting with your friend or family member and hem-haw around. They have to know exactly why you're coming, why it's so powerful, why you're so excited, and then you go, here's why I brought so-and-so. And I already told you that, but I want you to know, here's why I brought them, and they're going to do all the talking. So at this point, you know what, I'm just going to introduce you to my friend Danny, and I'm going to shut up and let y'all visit. So, Danny, this is, my friend Diane. And then you shut up. You basically have to be quiet and you let your mentor do the work. And your mentor will teach and train you by putting together a successful, presentation. And so, one thing Diane and I wanted to share with you guys tonight before we got you off the phone was this, that stay committed. This business really is about committed people surviving through the long haul. We could tell you story after story tonight about people that have been around and seen 4 or 5, 6 exposures to AdvoCare, and then all of a sudden it's the right timing for their life. In fact, most people take 4 to 6 exposures before they get involved, and most people that quit AdvoCare quit because they went through their first 10 or 15 people on their warm market list and they got rejected because they didn't know how to set up an appointment properly, or they didn't use their upline mentor, and then they quit because they feel like they're getting rejected too much and this thing doesn't work, not knowing that they planted a seed with all 15 of those people, and then somebody else is going to plant another seed with those people, and then about 2 years later, 3 years later, 8 or 10 of those people are going to be in the business, but they won't be under the person who called them the first time. You've got to keep following up with the people, your friends and family. Keep planting the seeds of opportunity. Dick Graham, mine and Diane's sponsor, he took Diane to a 2-on-1 appointment in 1996. He tried me first, couldn't get me, took Diane to an appointment. She came home, wanted to do the business. I told her, we're not taking those stupid vitamins and we're not doing that stupid multi-level deal. And Dick kept pressing in about every 3 months, came and brought me a new magazine, brought me a new sample of some product and said, Coach, here's what we're doing. Will you look at it? And for a whole year did that. So I don't even know. And I had 2 other people expose me to AdvoCare. So Diane and I probably had 7 to 8 really solid exposures to AdvoCare before I ever took it by the horns and got involved. And so that you've got to stay committed to your purpose and your destiny here with AdvoCare. And as you do, you're going to get rewarded for that, because if you're faithful with little, you are going to be rewarded with much. And you can be trusted with much, and a lot is going to happen to you in this business if you do that, because people are going to flock to this company. They're flocking to it right now, and they're going to continue to flock to it as the days go by and as the years go by. And you don't want to miss out on that which is to come, because really the best is yet to come. And that's what I want to really leave you with tonight is this. Here we are. Last year we were a $100 million company. AdvoCare pays back. This, you new distributors, you want to take note on this. AdvoCare pays back 60 cents on the dollar to its distributor base from its gross revenue. So we're a $100 million company last year. AdvoCare pays back $60 million in payouts to you and me, to us. This year, if it ended today, I'm not the CFO of AdvoCare, but I can safely say if December 31st was here today and nothing else changed, we would be about a $135 to $150 million company at the end of 2010 if nothing else changed. But we're growing rapidly. Well, even if that's the case, you're looking at about an $80 million payout at the end of this year. And Lord willing, we'll be at well over a $200 to $250 million company by 2011. And so you fast forward to 2017, 2018, Lord willing, if we become a billion-dollar company, which is the goal, and it can very well happen by that time period, you're talking about a $600 million payout per year in incomes to its distributor base. That's you and me. Guys, the best is yet to come. And we haven't, the real money has really not been earned here yet. The real money earners, there's going to be some big money earners here, but the real money earners have really yet to come. It's all right on the cusp of happening. And you're in the greatest times of AdvoCare in the 17-year history, because we've laid an incredible foundation for 17 years so that you can build your financial skyscraper. And here's what I want to leave you with. It's important that you understand. Diane and I have been talking a lot lately about the fact that we can look at a report and see people that got involved with us in 1997 and 1998, and they had these vast dreams of making $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $50,000 a month, and they wanted to tear the world up with AdvoCare, and they never did. They kind of faded away, and it wasn't because AdvoCare didn't work. It was because they lost their own dream, and they lost sight of just not chasing it. But you know what they didn't lose sight of? They didn't lose sight of the website, because they still order products. They still take AdvoCare. They're still loyal to the brand. They're loyal to the company because they're loyal, basically wholesale customers now. And in essence, we're getting paid for today for things that we did in 1997. And here's what I want you to think about. Will you get paid in 2020 for things you did today? Will you get paid in 2017 when we're, Lord willing, if we're a billion dollar company, will you be getting paid for things you did in 2010 and 2011? And if you're not getting paid right now with what you currently do in 5 years from now for what you do tomorrow, make sure that you seize this opportunity so that you can earn residual income that can pay you, for things you did 5 years before and 10 years before and 20 years before, because that is the power of AdvoCare. And I think Diane circled. Did you circle this for a reason, Diane? I am one.
I was just going to say, I want to make sure that everybody understands the number one reason why people fail in direct sales is lack of communication. And so one of the ways that we help people stay connected and stay in communication is through something called I Am One. You're going to find that on advocaretraining.com. And you can sign up for I Am One Facebook, and you can sign up for I Am One Communication. You'll get blast emails. Those are the people that want all the information they can get, because remember, people come into AdvoCare 4 different ways, so we want to make sure and just download everything that we can to the people that want it, and then give people that are just in for the products and to love AdvoCare, give them the respect that they deserve. So you have to sign yourself up if you want those email blasts, but it's a way that you stay connected. It's a way that you get great words of encouragement. You know what's going on across the nation, because it is a who do you know in Dallas, or who do you know in Fort Worth, all the different areas across the nation of business that's taken place that you can help plug people into and get people excited about being a part of, and then at the same time know about the webinars and training calls and all the other things that take place. But again, that's something that you've got to sign yourself up for, and again, you want to stay in communication. That's it, Dan.
Well, to all you new distributors, make sure that you give this business 2 years. Don't judge this success or failure of your business over your first 90 days or your first 6 months. Your first year is your entire learning curve. Every dollar you make in your first year is a bonus. I've seen someone make $286,000 their first 6 months here. We made $140,000 our first year. We've seen people make $160,000 in their first year, but we've also seen people make $1,600 in their first year and get discouraged, or $8,000 in their first year and get discouraged because they wanted to make $80,000 their first year. Just know that it's all a bonus, because after your first year, you begin to really get good, because the more training you get, the more refined you get. That's why you're on this call tonight. So keep plugging into trainings, keep plugging into all that's going on in the world of AdvoCare, and stay committed for at least 2 years so that you give your purpose and reason and your goals a true shot at coming to fruition. We're glad you're on this call tonight. We welcome all of you new distributors, and we look forward to meeting you in person. God bless you.